Hey everybody, what is up? It is Balloon and I'm back with another drama video for you, a follow-up to my last video about Bianca Loves Makeup and her friends, that whole situation, because we've got a little bit more information about that now. So, Bianca Loves Makeup, getting in all the drama. Now, this whole situation, I found out what it was about now. The Chisme report, he's put out a couple more videos, and honestly, I'm like, girl, this is crazy, this is insane. So, there was the beauty event where you had Bianca Loves Makeup, who was appearing at this beauty event that they were charging $85 per ticket for. Then you had the two ladies from my previous video who were on their Facebook Live talking about that whole event where Bianca apparently turned up for a couple of minutes and then disappeared. Then the following day it was the pool party. Now the pool party was held at Jen's house. Now Jen Gerard Cosmetics, it was held at her house. So Nick Snyder, the Viewer's Voice, and Dustin Daly were both living with Jen at the time. So that's how they know about all of this. That's how they're tied into this drama. So what had happened was Bianca Loves Makeup and her friends had turned up with some uninvited guests at Jen's house. Basically trashed the house. They got way too drunk. They were throwing up everywhere. They broke Jen's $1,000 toilet, all this stuff that they then couldn't replace. So Nick and Dustin ended up replacing the toilet out of their money, from what I can gather about this story so far. Girl, it's insane. Jen has now actually spoken to the Chisme report about the whole thing, the whole situation, saying that there were 25 people that she didn't know who were in her house. They were all to do with Bianca Loves Makeup, her friends, Dora, all these other people. And apparently Jen didn't know that all those people were going to be there. She went to pick somebody up from the airport, Gabe. She went to pick him up from the airport, came back to a house full of people that she didn't know. Then that's when all of this happened, that there was bath on the floor and all of that because they were drunk. The toilet got broken, $1,000 toilet, all of this stuff. That's when that all happened. But what's weird about all this now is that since it's come out that Bianca Loves Makeup was talking shit about Hank and Henry, since she was talking shit about him, who's supposedly her best friend, apparently now last night they've had a heart-to-heart, they've talked it out, they've made up with each other, fine, you know, taking it offline, sorting it out like adults, whatever. But I find it really strange that you would just be okay with someone who's supposedly your best friend talking a load of shit about you, saying that you need to be humbled, all the things that Bianca had said about Henry in that recorded audio. It's a little bit like, it's a little bit sus, you know, it's a little bit suspicious. And I don't know why you would, you know, just accept somebody. I mean, you know, they're friends, maybe they've got a long friendship, and, you know, Henry clearly has a heart of gold if he's willing to forgive Bianca Loves Makeup for all of the things that she said about him. But I just find it really bizarre that he's just gone like, oh, okay, yeah, well, you've been talking shit about me, I know, and that's okay. It's odd. It's a strange one. So I think what it boils down to, this whole entire drama, what it boils down to is Bianca Loves Makeup and her friends who weren't invited to Jen's house turned up. They were massively disrespectful. They treated the house like some kind of random hotel, and they were just throwing up everywhere, drunk, all that stuff. It's just really, really disrespectful. I mean, it's not unheard of for influencers to act up and all of that, but apparently they were really, really drunk. Apparently they were smoking someone else's stuff as well, and all of this was going on. They basically trashed Jen's property, which is not cool, you know, to go in and trash somebody's house. That is never okay. You know, being sick on the property, also being sick in someone else's mouth. I mean, oh, gross. That is disgusting. Like, I've never done that. I've had many a night where I've been out, you know, back when I used to drink and all of that, where I've had fun and everything, but I've never been sick in somebody's mouth. Or on somebody else. No, that's gross. That is gross. But I just find it bizarre, like I said, that Henry is seemingly now cool with Bianca again after she's said bad stuff about him. That's a little bit strange to me. I don't understand it, but you know, who am I to judge their relationship? And then there's the other part to it too, which is Bianca Loves Makeup being disrespectful to people who'd paid $85 a ticket for the purpose of going to meet her. That was the sole purpose why those two ladies in the Facebook Live in my previous video paid that money. They paid to go and meet Bianca Loves Makeup because one of them really looked up to her. You know, she's like an idol to her or whatever. You know, she looks up to her, she follows her on Instagram, everything, as like makeup inspiration, you know, and just thinks that she's a good mum and all of this stuff. So then when you go and meet somebody that you've been following and you're disappointed by them, of course it's sad, you know. And apparently some of Bianca's friends and that were taking the mickey out of other people who are like a bit mentally unwell and all of this. There was a whole thing with that. It's messy, but I think the main points of it are the fact that Bianca Loves Makeup and her friends trashed Jen's house a bit, you know, and also just inviting all those guests in who weren't ever supposed to be there. That's really, you know, disrespectful. For a start, that is disrespectful. We've seen the actual footage of the sick, the vomit on the floor from Nick Snyder. He showed us that. He also leaked the recording, the audio recording out. Well, he didn't leak it, but he shared it on his Instagram of Bianca saying all the shit about Henry. So it's like, you know, Bianca Loves Makeup can't really get out of this one. Although Henry might be willing to forgive her, she can't really get out of it because people have been on Facebook Live, you know, talking about her character, how she is in person, and then you've also got Nick Snyder talking about how Bianca is in person, saying that she was doing things like having sex on sofas around people's houses. She was possibly doing that on the toilet as well, which is how Jen's toilet got broken. It's just the lack of respect for somebody else's property. You know, that is gross to me. You wouldn't go in somebody else's house and behave like that, really. You know, even if you knew them very well, you still wouldn't go in somebody's house and behave like that. You know, not when you're an adult anyway. My opinion, you know. Nick Snyder is supposed to be uploading a video about Bianca Loves Makeup and this whole situation. I don't know when that's going to come out or if that's going to come out, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to move on because Macy Gray recently got in some drama because Macy Gray said something a little bit transphobic on Piers Morgan's show. There was this clip of Macy Gray making this transphobic comment about trans women not being women that went round on the internet. So I'm going to pop that in here for you.
And I will say this, and everybody's going to hate me, but as a woman, just because you go change your parts doesn't make you a woman.
Right.
Sorry.
You feel that?
I know that for a fact.
And then aside from that, Macy Gray, it seems, is now trying to take her statements back.
It's good to see you. I actually feel like I've seen a lot of you in the past few days recently.
Yeah.
You were on the Piers Morgan show, and there was a question about trans women. And this was what you said in part. As a woman, just because you go change your parts doesn't make you a woman. If you want me to call you a her, I will, because that's what you want, but that doesn't make you a woman. Just because I call you a her, just because you've got a surgery, you can call yourself whatever you want. There was a wave of backlash that came as a result. Just tell me where you are right now on that statement.
Well, I never, of course, meant to hurt anybody with what I said. I'm actually a huge, I think it takes a lot of courage to be yourself, to go out in the world and be honest about who you are. And so I think anyone who is in the LGBT community is a hero and sets an example for all of us with that, you know? So I said some things that didn't go over well. But my intention was never to hurt anybody. I feel bad that I did hurt some people, and I think it's you know, just about education. It's about conversation and us getting to a point where we understand each other, and that only happens with, you know, I've learned a lot through this. So I think that was one of the reasons it might have happened. Just it was a huge learning experience for me, and I just have a compassion for you know what I think you can, like I said in there, you can call yourself what, like you whoever you believe you are, and no one can dictate that for you or take that away from you. You know.
I think life is an education process. The more you sit with people, the more you talk to people, it changes your perspective. So has your perspective changed, do you feel?
I've learned so much, and I think, you know, being a woman is a vibe, and it's something I'm very proud of, and it's very precious to me, and I think that if you, in your heart, feel that that's what you are, then that's what you are, regardless of what anybody says or thinks. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, but yeah, I've learned a lot, absolutely, and I'm glad I did, because now I know.
Well, thank you for clearing that up, because I think people got confused, and people sometimes you realize that through education, you feel differently about things.
It's all a little bit strange because it's a little bit of a kind of PR move for me. I mean, on the one hand, I'm like, okay, so has Macy actually learned? Does she actually want to be educated on the whole trans rights issue? Does she want to be educated on this or not? Or is she just saying this now to try and get out of it, to try and backtrack? It's something that we see, you know, a lot of celebrities do when they kind of get cancelled, you know, if you will. Oh, you know, as a PR move, they'll make a basic apology and try and take back what they've said. You know, but then I do kind of think that Macy Gray is trying to learn here, so I can give her a little bit of grace for this. I feel like trying to learn, or at least saying you're open to being educated by other people, is at least a step in the right direction, if nothing else. Anyway, my loves, I'm gonna go. Please enjoy the rest of your Friday. Thank you for coming to hang out with me today, and I will see you tomorrow. So take care, stay safe, stay well. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.